Hello second year AP 2D design students. This video is just going to take you through and remind you of some of the requirements for the AP portfolio that will be coming up for submission in May 2021. Yes. And then I'm just going to take you through the summer work so that you're aware of what that is and you can get started as soon as possible. Also, hello parents. Good to see you as well. If you could please just encourage your child to complete the summer work and, nag them all the way. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. Just a quick reminder that the summer work is not optional work. I know we've been doing a lot of optional work here in the past couple of months since we've left school, but this work is not optional. It will be graded and it will be due the first week when we come back to school in the fall. So we're just going to go ahead and take a look at that and go ahead and take a look at the course framework for the AP 2D exam. I will see you soon. All right, you're going to see this attachment on the email that I'm sending you. This is the AP Art and Design course and exam description. It is very lengthy. It's 48 pages long, and I have gone ahead and highlighted anything that I thought was important for you to read. So if it's not highlighted, you're just going to, you can skim through it, read at your leisure. Again, if it's purple, that means that it is highlighted for the AP 2D and 3D portions of the exam. And if it's highlighted in blue only, it's just for the 2D. So you want to pay attention to things highlighted in purple and things highlighted in blue. If it's highlighted in pink, just disregard, that is for my 3D class. All right, so just real quick, please understand how your portfolio will be scored. It will be scored on a range of 1 to 5. So keep that in mind. And I did include a link in the slideshow for you to look, and in the summer work, to look at examples of portfolios that are scored at different scoring levels, so you know what that looks like. Okay. Keep going here. That paragraph there is just to let you know basically what you're doing. I'm going to read this paragraph to you right here because I think it's important. As an introductory college course, students will need to work inside and outside the classroom and beyond scheduled periods. Homework, such as maintaining a sketchbook or a journal, should support the depth of learning expected of AP students. Constructive formative critiques, essential in college classes, are equally important in AP Art and Design. So that's just kind of reaffirming the fact that inside and outside work is necessary in order to complete this portfolio by the deadline of May 2021. Course framework here. Again, just skip over anything that's not highlighted because I don't think it's really that important that you read parts that aren't highlighted. This area here is just kind of talking about the skills that you will get from putting together the portfolio. And the big ideas of the course: you're going to investigate materials, processes, and ideas. You're going to make art and design, and then you're going to present art and design. And the presentation part comes from submitting the portfolio, and then there's a lot of written documentation that is also required. And this part takes up a lot of space. You do not need to read over all of this. These frameworks are more for me than they are for you. All right, I'm gonna keep going here. Here's where like the real meat of things come together. You can remember that for the College Board portfolio, you are going to submit 5 physical works. That means 5 works that you're going to physically mail into the College Board in a portfolio that they will send you. They're going to physically travel through the mail to the College Board. They will review them, score them, and then they will send them back to your home. So that's what the 5 physical works are. And last summer, part of your homework was to create 3 of those 5 physical pieces for the quality section or the selected work section of your portfolio. So you should already have 3 of those out of the way. And then just so you know, the sustained investigation can also count as you can also count some of those towards your selected works. So that's kind of what I'm hoping you'll do, is just take from those 15 pieces you'll create, pick 2 additional ones, and then send them along for the selected works. So you really, at this point, should have 3 selected works already done, and then we'll be pulling 2 additional ones from the sustained investigation. Right? From the sustained investigation, that's your concentration that we worked on all last year. You already know what that is. You don't have to come up with one anymore. You should have 3 pieces fully finished. And there is 15 images or 15 works that will go into that sustained investigation. And part of the summer work will be to create 3 additional sustained investigation pieces, so that by the end of the summer, you have 6 total sustained investigation pieces, which should put you in a nice position to finish your portfolio by May. Okay, we're just going to keep on going here. And please read all of this information will really kind of help you know what's going to be required of you once you're actually ready to submit your portfolio. There is quite a bit of writing involved once we actually come to putting your portfolio up digitally on the College Board website. And that's stuff that we'll go over later once we're actually in school. Okay. I would read through all of this. This is just how the sustained investigation and the selected works are scored. That's very important to understand. And again, so the blue section is where you want to focus here. That's for the AP 2D portfolio. And this just kind of goes through like what kind of materials you can use, and then what you should be focusing on. You can skip over anything highlighted in pink. That's for my 3D class. And then if you're taking potentially the AP 2D and 3D course, there is overlap among the portfolio types, and you may be able to use work for both of those. So if you're taking both AP 2D and 3D, you're going to want to read that section. This part's really important, and we've gone over this at length, but just remember about copyright law and using images off the internet. So if you're going to use any work that makes use of photographs, published images, and or work of someone else, it must show substantial and significant development beyond duplication. This is demonstrated through the manipulation of the materials, processes, and ideas of the source. The student's individual vision should be clearly evident. It is unethical, constitutes plagiarism, and often violates copyright law simply to copy someone else's work or imagery, even in another medium that represents it as one's own. So just make sure you're not pulling images off the internet and then trying to pull them off as your own. And I as second year AP students, I feel pretty confident that you understand all of those things. We already talked about the physical work submission. That's the selected works. And then the digital submission will be your sustained investigation. And then there's just a little paragraph about photographing work. We'll talk more about that in school, just basically saying that the photographs of the work need to be of the highest quality, and we'll make sure that that happens. Okay, so that's just this 48-page document in a nutshell. Please go back and read through it, make sure you understand, and it's really important that you understand the grading rubrics and how the College Board will be assessing your work. Hello, I am back. I hope you enjoyed that preview of the AP 2D framework and coursework. It's quite thrilling stuff. So at this point, you might be wondering to yourself, should I submit a portfolio to the AP College Board? And I would encourage you as second year AP students to definitely do that, regardless of what your plans are for the future as far as college goes. If you are planning on going to college, I would definitely recommend submitting a portfolio regardless of what your major might be. So I looked up the Shippensburg University tuition rate, and for a 3-credit course, it is about $942. And it costs $80 to submit an AP portfolio, which means that as long as you score a 3 or higher, and this is different per school, but most schools will accept a score of a 3 or higher as credit. So you're going to get those 3 college credits for $80. And when the Shippensburg rate's $942 per credit, that's a pretty good deal. So regardless if you're majoring in nursing or environmental science and it's non-art related, you will still get those 3 college credits as a humanities course. Now, of course, if you are going to major in an art field, you definitely want to submit a portfolio. That will get you out of taking like an introductory art class when you get to college, which would be great. Any way you can save money in tuition and college is a good thing. So that's just my little spiel on why I think you should submit a portfolio if you are going to go into higher ed in the future. Okay. Now, that is not to say that you can't still take this course even if you're not going to submit a portfolio. You certainly can. You will still be held to the same standards as everybody else in the class, but you just won't be submitting to the College Board. Just so you know, it is an $80 fee, as I already had mentioned. And you'll have to make a decision around October of 2020 whether or not you're going to want to submit the portfolio or not. At least that's how they did it last year. Now, with everything going on, they may change their stance on that. The College Board might change their stance on that, but as of right now, how it stands is you have to make the payment of $80 in October to hold your place to take the AP 2D's portfolio. So that's just something to think about, like this summer, thinking about, am I going to submit a portfolio or am I not? Because you're going to have to make that monetary decision come October of 2020. And basically what that's saying is you're not going to be able to get your money back if you decide not to. Although this year, with everything going on, they did give back refunds if you changed your mind last minute. But again, this is all on it's touch and go right now. So I'll have more information as the College Board's making decisions by the minute as to how they're going to address situations in the future. So now we're going to go ahead and look at your summer work for the summer of 2020, and then we're going to kind of wrap things up. I'll see you soon. All right, here's the summer assignment that you're going to be getting for this year. Okay, it starts off by saying, hi, second year AP students. Last year you created 3 pieces for your selected works. This summer we're going to be concentrating on your sustained investigation. Remember, I already mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but this work is not optional. It will go on the first marking period gradebook. Okay, and this is to help you make sure that you have enough material for the portfolio to submit to the College Board. Okay. Please note that all summer sustained investigation projects will be graded using the College Board rubric, and we'll take a look at that in a second. Okay, so the first part of your summer work is to work in your sketchbook and to create 3 more plans for 3 more pieces. Right? At this point, you know what expectations look like for visual journals. In case you needed a reference, I can take you to this link, perhaps. This is a really great link that shows examples of what sketching and visual journals should look like. Okay? They involve sketching, they involve perhaps reference images, they involve notes. Okay? So that is what we're talking about when we're looking at that stuff. Okay, back to the assignments. So you're going to create 3 visual journals. There is the grading rubric I'm going to use to grade the visual journals. It's worth 30 points total, those 3 visual journals. The next part is the sustained investigation and project continuation. So basically, after you've completed those 3 journals, it's time to work through those journals and turn them into projects. Okay. Remember, you're submitting 15 pieces. By the end of the summer, you should have 6 pieces completed. All right. Here are some bullet points about those projects. If you want me to look at your visual journal, I'll talk through an idea before you start. I know it's hard sometimes, you're alone working, you don't know if your idea is good, you'd like some feedback, just email me or we can do a Zoom call or whatever and try to talk you through some ideas. Just let me know. I'm pretty flexible over the summer. Right? Do your best with the supplies that you have at home. I realize this isn't ideal, but I know last year I sent you home with a whole bunch of supplies. Can't do that this year, but even a pen or a pencil can create amazing artwork. Digital imaging is fine too. So if you have Procreate or Tasui Sketches and you want to work digitally, that's perfectly acceptable. And I will be in touch with you about the possibility of getting you supplies. Keep your piece between 8 by 10 inches and 24 by 30 inches. Nothing too enormous. And then please click on the link to see the rubric I'll be using to score the sustained investigation pieces. Okay, I'm going to click there. It's going to take you to this link, and that's going to show you the grading rubrics for both the selected works and the sustained investigation. Okay, so I would look over this. Okay, this is how the College Board is going to score your selected works. There's that range between the 1 and the 5. Okay, and then below here, this is the scoring for the sustained investigation. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so take a look at this. That's how I'm going to be scoring your sustained investigation pieces. Okay. All right, back to the summer work. And if you click on this link below, you'll see samples of portfolios with different scores. So if you're curious, what does a score of a 3 portfolio look like? You can take a look. What does a score of a 5 look like? Go through, take a look. It will give you a good idea, right? And then here's just some things to keep in mind. And there's a summer checklist to make sure that you've completed all of the assignments. So just a quick rundown, you're going to be creating 3 visual journals for your next 3 ideas for your sustained investigation. And then you're going to go ahead and create 3 pieces based off of those journal pieces. Okay. Hello everybody, I'm back. All right, I hope you enjoyed that little explanation of the summer work. Just want to kind of go through a couple question answer sessions, things I anticipate you might ask if we were actually at school. But a couple things. So number 1, I know it's very much not ideal for us not to be able to gather materials before we leave, but one thing that I will tell you is that if I can get back into the classroom by the end of the year, I'll try my best to grab anything I can off your shelves, like sketchbooks that you may need, and try to find a good time to distribute those to you or find a good meeting place. I can't make any promises right now because at this time we're not even allowed in our classrooms, and we're not sure when we will be let in our classrooms either. So I would have to think at some point I will be back into the art room and I will be able to get some things. So think about that. Think about things that you might like me to get for you. So that if I do ask you, you're ready to answer that question. So another question you might be thinking to yourself is, well, what if we don't go back to school in the fall? At this point, there's been no real communication as to whether we will or will not go back. It's basically just be prepared for anything at this time. So all I can say is if we get into a situation where we're not coming back for the fall, I'll do my best to get you guys materials in some way, shape, or form. So that's just something to think about as we continue. And I know most of you guys do have some things at your house that you can use, and be open to some alternative types of art materials, such as things that you can find in nature, recycled items, and a pen and paper, or a pencil and paper are. You can make amazing artwork with very limited materials. Digital work is also highly acceptable. So if you need to teach yourself some sort of new app or anything like that, Procreate is great. If you need that on your iPad, I can get that for you. Tesui Sketches would also be fine. So you just let me know if there's anything I can do for you, and I will try my best to make that happen. So if you have any questions, please just email me, let me know what I can do for you. If you would like me to organize a Zoom session just so you can talk through questions with me, I can certainly set that up. You just need to let me know. But otherwise, enjoy your summers, enjoy the summer work, and I will see you hopefully back in the fall when we can all get together and look at what you've created. All right, take care.